Happy April. Welcome back to Crimson Glass on YouTube. It's finally April. I feel like March lasted, I don't know, forever. I'm sure you guys all at home feel that way. So this video is the first of two you'll see on the channel today. One is it's the site status. Here's the state of things here in April. And then I'm filming a second one that we'll talk about later when I get to the channel section. I do these videos once a month. I kind of tell you what, update you on what happened after my last update. What do I see going, forward? How am I doing on my 2020 production schedule? So these are done in 3 sections. First, we talk about life, just in the sense that if there are things affecting my writing, things that are going well, things that are going bad, I kind of share them. Things that are happening with the site, like what are things I'm working on for the site? What are the things I'm working on for the channel? And then stories. I try to do a big story update once every couple of months, just like where this whole thing is. But never fails. Every morning. You get off my desk. Thank you. So let's start with life. Couple of things have been affecting my writing lately. We are living through a pandemic. I live in New Jersey. I live in South Jersey. We're a little less harder hit than North Jersey, but I am a suburb of Philly, so my particular county is getting the brunt of being connected between those two, where we have one of the higher rates in South Jersey, and my own city has at least 3. Okay, can you go over here? Go look out the window at the birds. And my sister knows one of the cases, and basically a lot of people have cold symptoms and they're not getting tested because we don't have enough tests. So my city actually has a lot more positive cases than we know about. So that's kind of a scary thing to know. It's in my city, and I live in a city of 11,000 people. It's not a big place. It's 2 square miles. So my school system is shut down, and I am remote teaching. Which in some ways I thought might be a boon, but I didn't think I really underestimated how much this whole, the world is collapsing outside of our ears. The virus is in my town. It's affecting people I know. My mom is at risk. My dad, yesterday, he just in passing said he wasn't feeling good. And and everybody I know knows somebody with it at this point. And so that's just I've been trying to think about why this feels so different. And I think it's because the last pandemics I kind of lived through, it never hit my area. They were well managed by my federal government, and that's not the situation we're in now. I am very fortunate to live in a state with Governor Phil Murphy, who is handling it well, and I'm living between states who I'm living in the tri-state area, and we are, despite shortages, handling it as best we can. So I am closed down in my school district for at least April 20th. I know it's going to be longer. I'm sure we're going to be up at least the 30th. I'm also switching up the classes I teach at the school. I guess they've decided with remote teaching looking like it's going to be here a while, they don't want to pay the teacher that's out on maternity leave to sit at home when they're paying me to sit at home. So I came very close to losing my job last week, which was super fun. But my principal had my back, and she realized that they had another position that they could hire me for. So I'm going to be teaching Spanish the rest of the marking period. Do I know Spanish? No, but it's elementary Spanish, and I know French, and I know enough Spanish that I'm going to be fine, and I'm very resourceful, and I'm very, determined, and I've already got my first couple of weeks planned, and I'm really excited at this point to be handing off ELA, because I'm handing it off, so you got to kind of, make the best of it. So my writing mental space has been in a weird place in the last couple of weeks. We've been off since March 16th, so this is the 3rd school week we've been out, and I'm sort of finally, and I'm not getting used to being at home. I mean, my dishwasher broke the first week I was home, and I don't have a drying rack. I don't really have the space in my kitchen for a drying rack. I have to buy one, and it turns out you really can't do that at the moment because you can't go anywhere, and Amazon's like, well, you can have it at the end of April. I'm like, that's great, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to order it, but it's not really solving my immediate problem. And it's not like my dad can just come up and fix my dishwasher. First of all, he's still working. They still consider him an essential person, which is great. They manufacture fucking bearings. Calm down, let my dad go home. Let my dad sit at home and not worry about him. It's fine. I'm not stressed about it. So, that's happening. And my brother-in-law is still working because he works at an oil refinery. So that's been super fun. Yeah. So, that's been a thing. So I can't really get into a routine because I My house is it is what it is. My mental state is what it is. We're getting there. I'm trying to block it out, but I think the teaching Spanish is actually going to take up less time because it's a 40-minute class versus the block periods I teach now. So I don't have as it's not as rigorous and demanding as ELA for the students or the teachers. And I'm of the opinion that classes that are not ELA and math, classes that are not tested like Park and like tested high risk, I try to make them as undemanding as I can. Like I try to make them stress-free environments for the kids because this is a stressful time. And so I'm just gonna be doing a lot of videos. I'm doing a lot of personal stuff, like just like pronunciation and focusing on cultural geography. And I'm looking forward to planning the content for it. And I have spring break coming up right after I start teaching it, so I'll be able to really get away from that. So that is just the life updates. That's it's been a lot since we were last talked last week. The last time we talked, I think I still had a job. I was still teaching ELA. Sorry, my students are just already emailing me. It's about 7:42 here, and my workday starts at 8. But like I'm in that transition period where the marking period starts on Friday, and I'm already handing off most of the stuff to the returning teacher. So I don't really have a lot on my plate. My grades are pretty much up to date. So let's turn into site and channel. Site is pretty much, it is what it is. I'm concerned about the font size. I know it's weird, but like I have a higher resolution than I think regular computers. And so I can't tell if the font is too big. So like I have to investigate that because I feel like every time I go to look, it looks like it's too small on my screen, which makes me wonder what it looks like on your screens. So I have to investigate that. Ebooks, I am working on them. I'm hopeful that this month I will have an answer for that, but I have a lot going on this month and we'll get into that. So that will be solved in the next 6 weeks. I need you to stop going in front of my computer. Thank you. Nope. Channel wise, so today is April 1st. It is the first day of Camp NaNoWriMo. So I'm doing my site and story status video today, which is like the third time I've done the video, but it's April now and I feel better about uploading it. And Camp NaNoWriMo, we'll get into it when I do the day one, but I'm going to try and film, if not every day, every other day. And one of the reasons why I want to kind of film every day is mostly that I think one of the biggest problems with being at home is I end up sitting in my yoga pants a lot and I don't put on makeup and I don't get myself ready for the day. And if you don't get yourself ready for the day, like some days that feels like, I don't know, it just like everything starts to bleed together. So I'm just trying to keep my own normal life. So we'll be doing, it'll be a couple, just like a 3-4 minute video, like here's what I wrote today, here's what I'm gonna write tomorrow, here's how the story is going. She came in from the other side, y'all. How do you argue with this? She's right there, came from. Story wise, I'm only going to talk about 2 stories because they're the only ones that matter. Broken Girl. If you have been at the site, you know that I finished the alpha draft on Saturday night. I wrote 8,000 words in 4 hours and I was very tired. And so I took off all of Sunday. I didn't even look at anything on Sunday. I was going to start revisions and stuff. I was not going to start revisions, but I was going to start like really finishing off the planning for Mad World. And I'm just like, I'm tired and I'm emotionally wrung out. I have all this grading to do. And I wrote that 8,000 words after I had just spent 5 hours grading. So like, you figured it out. Cats are determined. I like you too. Basically what happened, I finished it, and that's good news. So I made up my revision schedule, and what we're looking at is I am in the middle of a week where I don't look at it. Like I'm fighting the urge to reread it because I'm trying to let it. Ideally, I'd love to let the first draft lay for almost a month because then what happens is it feels a lot fresher when you go to reread it. You can find the typos, you can figure out what's wrong. I go back and I reread stuff I wrote a couple years ago. Like I just reread a few words too many because I was bored, and I'm like, man, there are like 1,000 things I could do differently here. And like it's still a good story. Like I'm not mad about it, but like the benefit of letting a draft sit before you do revisions. And then so I'm going to spend a couple of days looking at revisions, making a list of what needs to happen. And then I'm going to spend 2 weeks doing any major rewrites and then a week cleaning it up. If that schedule holds, I will be ready to start the ebook on May 1st. And then I am thinking publication May 5th. If I need more than a week, we're looking at a May 11th or May 18th. That's going to be one of those 3 dates. I'm not thinking there's going to be a ton of major revisions, nothing that I can't do in 2 weeks, especially with one of those weeks being my spring break. So I think that what I'm gonna do is I'm shooting for that May 5th. I really would like that May 5th. So that's for the Broken Girl. We are in our post production schedule. I'm very, very, very excited about that. I'm hopeful that I can have a video promo for you guys soon. I have somebody who offered to work on it. I haven't heard back from her in a couple of days, but like I don't know if you noticed with the pandemic, so like I'm not mad about it. She's gonna live her life. And if I don't, I can make graphics. I just video editing. I used to have a program on my Windows computer. Windows Movie Maker was pretty great, and I made a couple of videos that way, but it doesn't work on the higher levels of Windows now. Like, they've discontinued it for some reason. And I have a new video editor, but like it would take me time to learn how to do it. And I'm like, maybe in the summer when I don't have to teach, like that's where I can spend my time. But like at the moment, where if I can choose between writing and learning a new software to make videos, I feel like writing is the better place for me. So today is the first day of Mad World, and I'm I emailed Angie yesterday. I was like in a panic. I'm like, hey, so I'm starting book 3 tomorrow. I'm not ready to start book 3 tomorrow. She's like, what are you gonna write tomorrow? I'm like, I'm about to write book 3. And so it's mostly like and we'll talk more about this in my day 1 video later. It's mostly that I'm just struggling about starting points. Like I have so much I want to do, and it's how do you balance it all out? Is it all needed? And like it's all needed because it very much gets me to where I want them to be at the end. So how do I play with it? It's like you have all the large ideas, and now it's down to the nitty gritty. Now I have to figure out the nuts and bolts. Like I have to figure out how A moves to B, moves to C, moves to D without skipping like 8 things in the middle. So that's been hard. But so yesterday I finally sat over the weekend I had sat down and figured out like the first couple of chapters, and then yesterday I figured out the next few, and then I refined the ones that I already done, and I've outlined and broken down through chapter 5. I am planning to I have a meeting with my students at 9. I have some grading to do, and I have some lesson planning to do. I'm planning on doing all my teaching crap in the morning because I can, like because I'm literally in a position where I am basically ready to go. Um I don't have to spend all day because I spent all day last week grading everything. Right now it's just the kids are updating and turning in late work, and that's easier to keep track of. So I'm planning to spend most of my afternoon. I think I'm going to spend a couple, like maybe a half hour, just doing soundtracks for the first couple of chapters because I have a few. Like I'm gonna do a little bit more of the discovery in the afternoon, and then probably around 3, 4 o'clock, I'm gonna do the writing. I'm not so worried about dinner because I haven't been feeling well lately, eating wise. It's because I'm ordering out because I don't have my dishwasher because I can't eat, and I don't have a place to dry my dishes. Like it's super frustrating. So that is your status update, basically. Life is going. It's going where it's going. Where I am fortunate to be working. I am fortunate to have a house and food and a paycheck, and nobody that I personally love has come down with it yet. So let's just hope that that's the same thing when I check back in May. Um, Site is what it is. It's just mostly ebooks at this point that I gotta work on. Channel is Camp NaNoWriMo. We're kicking off more frequent like check-ins, and story working on revisions of Broken Girl. Maybe I'll check once I start getting into the revisions. I'll check in on that with Camp NaNoWriMo, and then we're launching into the alpha draft of Mad World. So if you are a $3 or above Patreon, the link is on the site. You have access to the alpha draft, and that's mostly because it's incredibly messy. It's got typos everywhere. It's got inconsistencies. It's a mess. So that's why I make it available at the lower range. So that is your April site and status and life and whatnot. That's your Crimson Glass update. I will check back in with you guys in May, and I really hope in May we flatten the curve. We've turned the corner. You know, we're all in this together. For some of us, most of us, we all just stay at home. Maybe one day we'll go back to school, and maybe I'll get to meet the 6th graders I'm teaching for Spanish. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care of yourself.